Metamorphosis.
That's
a
it.
change of the form of nature of a thing or person into a completely different one. That's what's happened.
Well, I'm in the casual gear today, James, but I am excited because there is lots of stuff happening. So you're referring to my
goodness.
appearance in the t-shirt,
No,
not
just
the
your whole
demeanour?
setup has changed
Right.
when we get into this trade period.
Well, I tell you what else, Jim, because talk of Tomahawk leaving Geelong.
Yes.
Remember I told you yesterday?
Yes.
And Jay-Z said...
Did you break the news?
No. Jay-Z said if he is playing in someone else's colours,
Oh, yes, I did say
I
this.
will come into the Herald Sun naked.
Dude, did say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you going to do that?
Yeah, oh, pretty safe though, I reckon. He was not going anywhere. The great Tomahawk, although the Demons picked up the phone late
I see that.
and plugged in a bell and said, what about coming to the MCG to play a bit more
on
footy?
the tram naked and going into the Herald Sun.
He's not going anywhere.
going anywhere.
Tomahawk.
But
So
I
he's
did
good.
like that answer you gave to
Thanks,
the
mate.
Tay Adams, let's
Yes.
get started.
So Sydney have been busy and they've picked up Taylor Adams for pick 33, which is pretty good business if you ask mine. So Sydney, as we sort of discussed before, Jim, they're a low contested possession side. They're going to be missing Callum Mills for the first chunk of the season. Taylor Adams was stuck on a half forward flank to the Pies. So that deal gets done for pick 33 and it could have ramifications because Collingwood's already got pick 19 and now they've got pick 33. Just gives them a bit of a foundation to really hammer Fremantle for Lachie Schultz. So there is a year to go, and we've got lots of names to get through, I know that, but there is a year to go remaining on Lachie Schultz's deal at Fremantle. He's become quite a solid little player, Jim.
Before we just let me quickly, Grundy.
Yes? Oh, sorry, yes, okay.
We're reading that's done.
All right, yes, Brodie Grundy, that is done, right? And this looks cheap to me too. So Brodie Grundy joins Sydney with his good mate Tay Adams for pick 46 and a future second. So 2 picks there, pick 46 going to Collingwood and a future second. Going to Melbourne, excuse me. Pick 46 and a future second. Now, crucially with the salary here, it is a deal between Collingwood and Sydney, essentially. So as I understand,
Melbourne are out.
Melbourne are out.
All
Yes.
right, helps them.
They are not paying any of the salary. So Melbourne get pick 46 and a future second for Brodie Grundy. It's been a bit of a debacle, that whole 1 year stay. It didn't work. They would acknowledge that. Melbourne have got Tommy Fullerton to play backup ruck to help support Maxi Gawn and had a look at Tommy Hawkins.
Grundy's third club in 12 months.
Hey, what are you expecting from him next year?
No, he'd be great. That's a perfect ground for him. He'll be a good player up there at Sydney, I reckon.
And does he go with a bit of a chip on the shoulder? He's
I hope
been
so.
booted out of 2 clubs.
Well, that would be exactly what you want if you're Sydney, a point to prove.
Yeah.
Tear the house down in the off-season and hit round one at 1,000 miles an hour. Fremantle, you were talking about
Yes.
Lachie Schultz, are they're a must. Explain. Please explain.
Yeah, it's unusual.
What is
isn't
going
it?
on? Hamling, Logue, Akers, Henry now.
Why-
Players are just exiting that place. Why?
Schultz. So I'm thinking that Schultz, this deal will get done. It's not certain, but I think Collingwood will pick him up. As I was saying before, the Pies have got pick 19, and now they've got pick 33, and they love him. He's a hard nut. He commits to the contest. He kicks something like 33 goals this year. 1 year remaining on the contract. I think he's from up near the river somewhere. Up near Echuca. So he's got family there. His partner's got family there, and he wants to come back. And Graham, this is where Collingwood fans would take their hats off to Graham Wright. Whatever he's being paid, Righty, it might not be enough. Honestly, the magic he has worked over the last 2 years at Collingwood now to be able to get Schultz potentially from Fremantle. You just wonder whether the Dockers, as you raise a good point, Jim, because they've lost so many established ready-made players. Chera's another one. So maybe they've got to have a look at the Collingwood list and try and get some steak knives.
Well, if you're a director of Freo, maybe you got to sit around the table and go, why are this quality of player wanting to leave our joint?
Yeah. So, time and money into them.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they're leaving.
And there will be a lot of pressure. I know Luke Beveridge will be under a lot of pressure next year, but I think Justin Longmuir also, we know and love, but he'll be under the pump to try and get Fremantle up into the finals. And the player exits will be part of that story.
Well, Adelaide had to deal with it for years.
Yes.
High quality people leaving. They've fixed that up. Now people are staying and people are going there to play footy. So this is an issue they've got to address.
So he goes to Collingwood.
Yep.
Who's out? Who gets moved out? Because he's that small forward type.
Well, that's sort of a bit of Adams' role, isn't it? That's what he's become in a sense. Been a lot of talk about Jackie Ginnivan, who doesn't want to go anywhere, and I'm not sure there's a lot of interest in him, to be honest. Certainly not from Fremantle. So does he slot straight into that Tay Adams spot? I think they can make room there. I sort of thought Tay Adams was becoming a bit of a fringe player at Collingwood anyway. Rabsy, you watch this closely.
Yeah, he played more half forward, which wasn't his go.
No.
Yeah. But Sydney wanted to reincarnate him as an on-baller. I think it's a 3-year deal.
Sad to see him go, though. Vice captain,
Great
heart and soul
team.
player,
Yeah,
great
team,
team player,
mate.
and good bloke.
Beloved figure.
Gresham?
So Jade Gresham, we'll get to Zach Fisher in a second. Jade Gresham's interesting because Essendon and St Kilda right now are doing this unusual sort of dance because Essendon want to pick him up as a free agent. That means they'd get him for nothing. They've already got Goldstein and Mackay, and they want Xavier Dersma as well. But the interesting part is, so tomorrow Essendon will lodge a free agency bid, and St Kilda have a decision to make whether to match or not. Now, it does get a bit complicated, but Essendon, as I understand it, want to pay him about $600, which is a second-round pick free agency compensation.
Mm-hmm.
If they paid him $700, it would be an end of first round. Now, St Kilda would much rather the first round. It's more likely to be the second round. So St Kilda go, maybe we match to try and force a trade, and that's where Essendon would have to stump up something better. But Essendon want to keep their picks 9 and 30. So then there raises the prospect of whether Essendon can get Jade Gresham in the preseason draft for nothing.
Ooh.
So this is the nuclear sort of scenario. But Jack Martin went this way in 2019. Remember the discussions between Carlton and Gold Coast broke down?
Yep.
Gold Coast didn't want a second-round pick, so he went to the draft and Carlton got him for nothing. Also for St Kilda fans.
Yes.
And this may haunt Luke Ball.
What, he's picked up again?
He went from St Kilda to Collingwood through the draft. Remember, I think it was pick 30 or pick 32, something like that. So it has happened in the past. I think potentially St Kilda will end up copping sort of a second-round pick as free agency compensation. That could all happen tomorrow over the next couple of days, but I would expect him to become a Bomber. But there is a bit of tension in the air around this trade.
So speaking of tension in the air,
Yes.
pick one. What's happening with that? Interesting to me, Jays. Oh, look at him.
We take a break.
changes colour again. So we're going to get
We'll
to that.
take a break because you two
It's a big-
are at loggerheads.
loggerheads.
Yes.
No, I just think there's a deal to be done. Whereas Jay-Z thinks she's locked away.
No, I like
She's
this.
done.
We're going to have a blue. There's
might
going to be a
have
blue
more
after the ad.
Trade
Zach Fisher
news.
also.
Including Tom Hawkins potentially leaving Geelong, which led Jay-Z to say, I'll go into the Herald Sun nude if he
Nude.
leaves.
Actually, I am with you, my friend.
You'll join me.
I'm with you, bro.
Wow.
Okay.
You make me look a lot better if you took all your clothes off.
Hey, none of that. We'll go in naked. We'll both go in naked together, all right?
Okay.
If Hawk, he'll stay at the Cat, surely. So I'm just...
So what do you say? You're going to come in here nude?
Yeah, I'll come in here.
No.
And Jay-Z will go into the Herald Sun nude if Hawk moves clubs.
Well, I'm pretty confident he won't.
Well, so am I,
That's a
Jim,
good
man.
thing.
Now,
That's a good thing.
the big Barney that's going on in here during that ad break. Wow, So in the blue corner is James Brayshaw. In the
Yep.
green corner or red corner is Jay-Z Clark.
Yep.
What's happening? North Melbourne trying to get pick one,
Yep.
but not offering enough.
Well, they love Harley Reid, right? But I think West Coast love him just as much. So he interviewed with because it's been all talk all year about could he be homesick or will he come back and he,
Country boy.
Flight
country
risk.
boy, or flight risk, exactly, or go home factor, all that sort of stuff. Well, West Coast interviewed him last week and they were absolutely struck by him. They asked him that question 10 different ways. He said, no dramas. I'm happy to go there. I couldn't wait to get there. Everything would be fine. One person said he reminded me a lot of a young Luke Hodge with that aura and presence, right? So this is the scenario.
But the country twang. It's not that good country bloke.
From Tom Gala. So North
Right.
Melbourne, this is the important part. North Melbourne's got picks 2 and 3.
15, 17, 18.
15,
No.
15 and 17, and
And 18.
they just gave away 21
25.
to Carlton, right?
So they got 5 inside
Yes.
the top 18 and
Jesus
2 and
Christ.
3.
Yes, so which is an extraordinary package. But this is the thing, Jim, right? West Coast say, we know how good a player Harley Reid is. So unless you're going to give us 2 and 3, we don't want
Which is 100% not going to
No,
happen.
shush. Let him go.
we don't want the
tell
chump
me.
change at the end of the first round because in between picks 11 and 20, you're 1 in 3 chance of getting a 200-game player between 11 and 20. They're
So
the
2
stats.
and 3, Jim.
No, not 100% not happening. But what if they
Why?
turn around North and say, all right, let's turn 15 and 17 into something the bottom end of the single
round
figures?
9 or 10.
Yeah, so then you say to them, we'll give you 2 and 9.
Or Geelong.
one.
What had Geelong got? 7 or 8?
Yes, 8. No, sorry, 8. Yeah, 8. And Essendon's got 9. They're both open to
Ooh,
some
there you go.
deals. But,
So-
the,
How will that go? 2 and 8 or 9?
I don't think that's enough. I wouldn't be doing it.
Wow.
I wouldn't be doing it. Harley Reid, the recruiters are saying They haven't seen a player with the power and physicality. I saw him play in February against Essendon's in an Essendon scratch match. He sat Zach Merritt on his backside in the fourth term with a don't argue like he was no one. The kid can play, and now with the 3-year contracts, West Coast are sitting on their bridges, sitting on their heels,
They
and just
need
saying,
volume, Jay-Z.
Yes.
One player is all they've got in the top 20 or whatever it is.
So
They could turn one into two and
Yes.
still get the kid from Claremont.
So
who they
if it's
like.
going to be multiple picks inside the top 10, 2 and 3, right, they'll do that. That's an unbelievable deal. But after 10, the picks are 12,
Drop
15,
off.
18, 17.
But what
It's
about
fluky back there.
What about the Curtin kid?
So the West Australian key defender, he is sliding down the draft order. And this
Why?
is a big part of this
Jim,
discussion.
you rated
I
him.
do.
Well, we did a lot of work on this yesterday, the top 6 or 7 picks, and we've got other players all going to the clubs up until GWS pick 7, but they're right. They've got Jack Buckley, they've got Sam Taylor. They don't need a key defender. And then you get to...
When he goes inside, he gets up involved, Jay-Z. He's not
Yes.
just a defender. Don't try and sell the kid
You're
short
saying it's
from over there.
curtains for the young bloke.
I wonder what's going to happen. It's not bad for you, mate. Curtain will fall. I reckon if West Coast recruiters passed off Harley Reid and then watched him dominate from the first round next year, they'd be worried about their jobs.
What if they can turn one first-round pick into 3?
Where are they? Depends on what they can get.
Okay, so you say to North, we'll
You're not
take
giving
2,
me 12
15 and
15.
17.
They don't want that. They don't want that, Jim.
They want
You're
the
flipping
top
the
10.
coin back there.
This space
Oh, we're
is
gonna
all
have-
I'm saying to
want
you.
the
Had
top
this,
Little
10.
tub thumper. Watch this space. Now,
I think Jay-Z got the point.
Fisher and Stevens.
Yes, so Zachy Fisher, he's joining. Here's one club who's going, one player who's going to your club, Jim. So Zach Fisher goes to North Melbourne along with pick 17, and Carlton in return get pick 21 and pick 25, which is not bad darts, I reckon. 2 early second round picks.
Yeah.
Zach Fisher was on the fringes at Carlton. I think he's been a little bit inconsistent at times. He's won a bit of the ball at halfback and can play wing. He's versatile. North Melbourne want some run on the outside.
Yes.
They think they got quality inside, but Bailey Scott's really on his own and Liam Shields out on the wings.
So they got Stevens and Fisher.
So this is it. And it's the 1-2 hit. Dylan Stevens was a pick 5, so this looks really cheap on the surface. Of course, he played a couple of years up at Sydney. Couldn't really break into the side now. So it's Dylan Stevens and pick 25 to North Melbourne.
Jay-Z,
Yes.
if Harley Reid ends up at North Melbourne, I don't want you nude in here. Right? Let's just make that deal right now.
Well,
I don't want you nude anywhere.
I don't think
I
you're
do.
going to get him.
All right. And what about Croft, the young fella for the Western Bulldogs?
Oh, yes. So I think he is headed to the Western Bulldogs. So he's another gun young key position player, another father-son, a beauty, son of Matthew. So he joins Sam Darcy, Aaron Norton, Jamari Ugelhagen, Rory Lobb, who may not necessarily be best 22 player, Tim English, who's a free agent next year. They are loaded up the spine, the Western Bulldogs. So that
200
is
centimetres.
Yes.
You know his
exciting
nickname?
news.
Lara. Now, Harrison
Not bad.
Petty.
Yes.
I can't believe, because he was very good with Melbourne before he hurt himself, but he's an Adelaide boy.
Yep.
Does he want to go back home, or is that propaganda?
This won't go away. So Adelaide, their footy boss, Justin Reid, a list manager, he is into him hard. Melbourne are trying to extend his contract as we speak. This could be $700,000 or $800,000. Like
Harrison Petty.
Harrison Petty's stocks are really rising. Melbourne can play him at both ends. They're going to need him forward to partner Jacob Van Rooyen. Let's be honest. Even if Adelaide put pick 10 on the table, I don't think that would be enough to tempt
10?
Melbourne, because they're in
They
the
need the
premiership.
forward, yeah.
They're in the premiership window. They've got Jacob Van Rooyen, missed out on your man Tomahawk, so they need Van Rooyen to stay. But Adelaide still very
Lachie
keen.
Reid's old man, John Reid, he used to walk the boundary with Blighty. Remember when
Yeah,
Blighty
John
took
Reid.
off?
Yeah.
Remember when during the game he walked out?
Oh, yes.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Was Reedy walking next to us?
Was that
All
over
way-
the ruckman?
Yeah, no, during the game, Blighty's down tools and I'm off. And as he was walking the boundary, it was Reedy walking with him. There's Reedy Senior.
Yes.
All right, what else are we?
Good man, Ready. Yeah, so Port Adelaide's still got a lot of work to do and haven't made a lot of headway on some of their deals. So they want Sava Radaglia
So what's happening there,
from
please?
Geelong.
Come on.
Well, the thing is, Geelong saying that they want a first-round pick. So even if Port offer an early second rounder, Andrew Mackey's talking really firmly on this.
They haven't got a first round.
That's the thing. That's the thing. So because they gave away so much to Jason Horne-Francis and Willie Rioli, they're a bit snookered. That's why Geelong said if you swap that future first round pick for a couple of second round picks, which they did, pick 24, you could leave us. Like, that's not going to satisfy us either. So they've got work to do. They want Brandon Zerk-Thatcher from Essendon. Essendon want Xavier Dersman in return. I reckon that could be a straight swap or pretty close to a
Who
straight
wins
swap.
that one? Dersma was good and just had a couple of quiet years.
Dersman's had one good season.
One, righto.
Yeah.
Haven't seen the bow and arrow for a while, have we?
No.
He went further up the ground. But I like Zerk-Thatcher, but he's not Matty Scarlett.
No.
Is he? I mean, he's a
He's a
good,
third
he's a bloody handy player, but
Yes.
he's
Off the
So-
field.
oh, hello.
What? Oh, is he? The double thumbs up
Have a listen to Bill.
on BZT.
Yeah. Oh, righto. Now,
So,
Jay-Z,
yes.
we've got our annual dinner tonight. The
Yes.
show's the family dinner.
Yes.
Very busy.
So we're
Oh,
I can't make it.
very
why?
busy.
What?
Jay-Z, you're
What's
with
your
us
excuse?
all year,
Yeah.
I
and
know.
we get together for our dinner,
I know.
and you're dropping and I'm busy on
Jim's paying.
It's the trade period. I know. This is why we got to shift these things until after the trade period, Jim, where I can
Nothing happens
downshift.
after 5.
Mate, I've spoken to the great C. Judd for a story tomorrow. So
Well, you've
I'm
already
gonna
done that, so that story's in the
I got to write it, Jim. So
We'll write it tonight. A few frothies.
Unfortunately, I got to pick my daughter up from dancing.
Oh, don't bring your daughter into the
I'm
fact that I
very-
can't come. That's
I-
poor
I,
by you.
I know I've let
In fact,
you
it
down.
actually sums you up.
Yeah, exactly.
That sums you up,
I'm
Jay-Z.
sorry. I'm very busy.
We'll save a bit in food, Jim.
Says you satellite dish.
You can hear some of Jay-Z's best stuff.
Yeah, it's not a
on
bad
Dead-
finish. It's not a bad
Dead
finish.
Set Legends every Saturday, and all the trade talk on the Herald Sun. One of the best, Jay-Z Clark on the Rush Hour, Triple M.